Ronnie Olson. Victorious again, Ronnie. We talked 3 years ago when you did this. I mean, it's 2 now. What was the major difference between that one and this one?
I think me as a learning curve, because I feel like I let my guys down a little bit the last 2 years. They played hard. It wasn't anything the guys did the last 2 years. I felt like I had to learn as a coach a little bit. Obviously, one missed shot would turn our whole fortunes and winning a state championship the last 2 years. But I think I've learned as a coach. Retton's a good coach, and you have to, cross all your T's, dot all your I's. And I felt like, I felt more prepared for this one. I felt like just more before the season started, preparation.
I'm going to talk about Amar Maxwell before we get to the other stuff I need to do. I mean, what a career for this kid. He finishes it. He starts it with the state championship. He ends it with the state championship. In between, from that point to the end, played 96 games. That's how many games you guys played. Started, I think, 90. The major thing, 12 state championships, still tournament games, and 4 state championship games. Started. That doesn't. Maybe they think maybe Patrick Patterson was the last one.
Wow. I mean, dude, I wanted it so bad for Amar because that kid I can get on him and jump on him and just, he don't miss anything. And I wanted it so bad for him to cement his legacy at Shady Spring, for him leading his team to a state championship. And he did it because, he's just given me everything, and for him to win the state championship to lead us is phenomenal. So I'm happy for him, and his durability has been immense.
What was lost on the stat sheet, he had 13 rebounds. I mean, that was key against a team like that.
And he did it versus Nitro. He had 11. Right. So he dominates the glass. It's not about scoring all the time, which he still had. How many points did he have? 14, and he had 14. But his rebounding was phenomenal because there's nobody in the state I felt like that could really rebound with Amar. He's really good at getting off the floor, and he never is out of position. He never leaks out. So he controlled the glass tonight. Jackie and Jalen and Kai and Brady and Brody, they all team rebounded, but he led us. He was the catalyst on the glass tonight.
Huge play by your other senior, Gavin Davis, scoring on the inbound. Obviously, Jack Williams' pass was key on that because it was a really easy layup. It was wide open. Then gets the charge on the other end, as your guys pointed out. I mean, just that kid is the emotion he brings to this team. I mean, I don't know. That might be one thing to say replaceable.
Gavin brings so much to the team because, what makes him great sometimes hurts him because he gets so high that sometimes when things go wrong, it's hard for him to come back from. And, he started a little slow and he was a little down on himself, but he came back and played. And he's our emotional leader on the team. And he does those things, take charges, and he that play we run, he's open perfectly. He knows exactly how to sell it and go get a layup. Jackie found him. You talking about that, there's so many plays.
Well, you had to do it. You had to have the tie. Then you got to, you were able to get a stop.
We had to have
Didn't score it, but you were able to tie it.
Everything that we did, we had to have. We had to have every free throw. Everyone down the stretch. Jalen didn't miss a single freaking free throw. 9 of 10 in the fourth quarter, or in the overtime, rather. Incredible.
Do you feel like when you go to the line, because you guys are a pretty good free throw shooting team traditionally, I think about 70%, 68% maybe as a team this year, do you feel pretty confident in that overtime that you could keep getting to the line and win this game?
Well, we have been a good free throw shooting team all year, but in the stretch here towards the regional sectionals, we haven't been a good free throw shooting team. So we've worked on that in practice and finishing layups. It was something that we felt like we had to do up here a little better. And free throws goes down to mental focus. And that game right there was a mental freaking grind. Physically, obviously, as well, but just for them guys to execute.
You guys won't have a problem sleeping tonight, I don't think.
No, they gave everything. Win or lose, I wasn't even going to question what they did because they gave everything they had.
What about Jalen Bailey's playing the third? I mean, just to even really keep you guys in the game at that point. I mean, it gave you a spark. Like you said, he was 9 of 9 at the line, but I mean, some of the plays, and Retton said he was able to penetrate maybe a little deeper than they wanted him to, and that was really key for him.
Well, we talked about, let's not key on our sets. If they're going to press up like that, let's just go by them. Sometimes basketball's simple, and Jalen does a good job of that. And I think we got too bogged down on running our sets early. I think that we just felt like we could beat our man. They have, Grant is the best, maybe the best defender I've faced as a coach. And
He's locked down.
he's just very hard in space, very hard to go by. He opens his hips, he has a great body. But we felt like there were some other matchups we could get where guys would start going downhill, and they did. Jalen did a good job of that, and instead of just running a set, he saw a little crease, and he created it for us. He took that because we were in trouble on the offensive end, and he was the catalyst of that.
Dobbs is a great player, but you were able to, and Amar, I think you had him on in most of the game, and to his credit, he stayed out of foul trouble too, which was big, until the second half. But he didn't have his first field goal against you guys down here since the winter, until I think there was 14 left in the third.
Wow.
You talk about the job that you were able to do on him, and I mean, Grant more than stepped up and replaced maybe what he usually gives and has down here. But I mean, the job that Amar was able to do on him, and that was fun to watch.
Big time heavyweight fight. I mean, Amar is an exceptional college elite level defender, and Dobbs is an elite level defender. And to watch those guys go at it, I can't wait to watch it again. And I think Retton did the exact same thing I did. Hey, we're not going to help. You guys are just going to go. If they decide they're going to go one-on-one, my guy is going to beat your guy. And Amar got him a couple times, and Dobbs got him a couple times, and they just went at it, and we just happened to have some possessions at the end where we won it, and they just went at it, and guys stepped up and won a state championship. It's amazing.
Talk about the emotion, the raw emotion. And I mean, you were in tears as you were 3 years ago, in tears again this time. Is the emotion just kind of a release from the season? Because it's a short season, but when you know what you're playing for something, it can be a long one too.
It is. It's a mental grind. It's a grind on my family. My wife, my kids, and I work. I'm an athletic director.
Kind of a release then, huh?
It's a release, and I felt bad that I let my guys down the last 2 years. I really feel bad that I wasn't able to, guide them to a win and to help these guys get a state championship. It is a release because, you lose two that you feel like you should have won, and sometimes you don't want to worry about what happened in the past, but you can't help it when it affects your future sometimes. And they did a good job of putting that in bed tonight. We talked about it right before we went out. Last year has nothing to do with this year. This game is no different than any other game, except our end reward is going to be bigger than any single season game. And, we lost 2 in a row, but to beat a team that was a unanimous number one, arguably AAA 4A team in the state, to win, they haven't lost but a couple games in 3 or 4 years. To win it out here is kind of validation for our guys that left last year, and then they cemented their history in Shady.
Well, I think it's similar to the first state championship. Those guys were playing for the guys that didn't get to make it down to Tommy Williams. And do you think these guys were kind of playing for those guys last year? I mean, and Mara said it, and your other player said it. I think, we really wanted to win it. It worked for them too because they didn't get a chance.
Listen, Dave, listen. Our program, when I walk away, I can be happy because my program is about unity and family, and it's more than basketball because I talk to probably 90% of my guys that played for me. You always have a small percentage that you don't talk to, but my guys still come back and they cheer. They still are welcome anytime in our games for free. They can always work out. They always are going to be with my program, with our guys, and I think that creates a type of unity. You see a lot of guys leave programs and they don't want to cheer for the teams that were there, but no one team's better than the other one. The last group won a state championship, this one won a state championship, and they all cheer for each other because it's a small knit community, and they still hang out and they still talk, and I think that's what makes it so special.
Ronnie, an outstanding job by you guys today.
Thank you.
I appreciate the time all season, and before you know it, we'll be talking about next year.
Thank you to the community and our fans as well.